Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology. It's the most easy way to learn astrology. I'm Rod Chang.
I'm Alejo Lopez.
Hey, well, Alejo, before we start, I think we have a very important news to announce, right? A super
Yes, we do.
important. Yeah, we do. So, because if you follow us for a while, you know this year, AOA Academy of Astrology working on a track of astrology and the body, mind, spirit. And in this track, we have an honor to also invite Alejo to give a webinar. The webinar is the astrology of happiness.
Yes.
Yeah, so this webinar will be on Saturday, 16th of July, 1 p.m. BST, 1 p.m. UK time. So it will be very interesting talk because we use astrology for every day. We use astrology for health, for love, for money, for lot. Why we never think about we use astrology for happiness?
Yes, that's the question. Can we see in the chart what's going to make you happy? How you
Yes,
can arrive to happiness?
I think that's most important, to be honest. And people are always looking for the money, for the food, for the love, for something. I think if you be happy about yourself, I think everything will come around you. You know, that is quite another magic of astrology. If you are happy about yourself, you have a self-confidence, that things will come around you, and maybe you will have things you want. So don't miss it. I will put the link behind. Okay, well, I'll put the link here. So you guys, if you are interested in this topic, please enroll, please contact us, and then we will send you the link. Okay, well, since May, we start to learn the star sign or zodiac sign, and also learn a little bit how to make interpretation of the planet in sign. So we did talk about the Aries, Taurus, and the Gemini. Then today comes to the water sign, Cancer.
Yes, the crab.
Crab, the crab. Yeah, I know it's quite interesting. Some astrologers doesn't like cancer, the word cancer, because it sounds like a disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they keep mentioning it's a crab, not cancer. I mean, well, that's Greek because in Greek that's the same name, right?
Yeah.
From the cancer is the word cancer for the disease is from the crab. So, well,
Yeah.
why avoid it if you know the knowledge? Anyway, that's different person doing different things. But so usually when we talk about the star sign, and we have that kind of archetype things to understand, to help us to understand how the star sign perform and what's their quality. And don't forget, we also can learn it or study it from its element, quality, and the ruler planet. So after discuss with Alejo, we decided today I'm going to tell the story, and that is a more Eastern story, Eastern way. To be honest, because Alejo asked me about what story I tell my student when I introduce them to Cancer this time. I said in the beginning, I did talk about Constellation Cancer. Then I realized when I studied the fixed star and the star map, I realized that story is simply, it's not totally rubbish, but it simply helping you to memorize where is Cancer and where is Hydra. Because the Greek mythology talking about it when Hercules tried to kill the Hydra, and then the Hydra's good friend, the crab, come to help the Hydra to win this battle. But the story in this is just for one reason. In the sky, if you see, you couldn't see Cancer. Cancer is a very faint constellation. Cancer is here, Hydra is been underneath, coming up. That's the reason they bring them together in the story. So, but I try to think if it is a archetype, we don't need to go only the Greek mythology. I think there's many other mythology we can understand this kind of a martyr type figure or a caretaker. So the story I'm going to tell is a story from the Buddhism. Well, and they in the story there is a female demon. I think her Sanskrit name is the Hariti, or a Japanese name is called Kishi Mojin. Okay, I will call it Hariti. Maybe it's much easier for me to pronounce. Maybe not. Anyway, Hariti is a female demon. Every day, she has maybe many of children, and every day she will eat the human baby. So she will come to the nearby village and steal the baby from human and eat them. Then the nearby village people suffering about losing their children, so they are very upset and devastated. So they pray to Buddha to help them. Then Buddha think about, oh, of course you can confrontation, you can go to use your power to kill this female demon. But what Buddha did is a very interesting way. While Hariti going out for hunting the human baby, he came to Hariti's place and saw her youngest son. So he took his son away, put in his bowl, and then hiding near Hariti's place. When Hariti come back, she couldn't find her youngest son. She was so upset. She was so devastated. Then suddenly she saw Buddha sitting there next to her house. She said, I lost the baby. This stranger sitting here must be him. Hey, have you taken my baby away? Yes, I have taken your baby away, Buddha answered. So she said, please give me back my baby. She said, and Buddha said, well, let me ask you one question. When you lost your baby, you were so upset, you were so panicked, and you were devastated. Have you ever think about other people when you took their son away? How they feel? How do they feel? She said, yes, I understand. The feeling would be the same, but I need to eat. It's a cancer, come on, I need to eat. She said, and the Buddha said, yes, that is true. You also need to eat. Let's find a way. So after negotiation, Buddha and Hariti decide. Buddha asked the village people every day offering food for Hariti and her children. It's kind of a worship thing. And then instead of eating their children, Hariti is not going to eat children. Hariti eat the food and offer protection to all the children in the village. It's a very short story, but I do find there is the spirit of a cancer inside. What do you think, Alejo?
Completely. Yeah, it's a beautiful story. I really like it, and I think it applies so much.
Yeah.
Because from this story, one of the key things I think of this story is the idea of nurturing, right?
Yes.
Like this demon is saying, "I need to eat."
Yeah.
So with cancer, when we think of this, the sign of cancer, one of the basic keys is actually nurturing. And when we say nurturing, it's not only I need to eat like food, but also I need to eat emotionally. I need to eat healthy emotions in order to feel safe and protected.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that in this myth. How food is also like how her spirit is also kind of nurtured not only by something like young babies, but also by food. It's like this switching of elements. I think it's interesting.
And also another thing I like this story is they totally fit into the water elements feeling and about what we call compassion, right? Is that empathy. So Buddha is not trying to confront her or by power, by violence, but make her understand the feeling about you lost your family. When you lost your family, how would you feel? So I think that's the way of a water sign. The spirit of water sign, the feeling is the most important for them. So also when you're trying to maybe we say negotiate with water sign people, if someone have a lot of planet in the water sign, I think use this kind of a empathy, understanding, and feeling. Usually it works. So that's why I love this story, and also to introduce the feeling of the water sign in this story. I like it so much.
Also, I like it because of this idea of protection, which is one of the key words also for cancer.
Oh, yes.
Like when she comes back and Buddha stole her baby, she's worried, you know, like what he's my son, where is my son? You know, she wants to protect him. And Buddha is trying to protect the other baby. So everything goes around how to properly protect the young kids, right?
Yes, I think that's a very important theme in the Cancer, about the family, about the parenting and kids, about the protection, about about nurturing. So it's so interesting in all this mythology. But it's not
Yeah.
only mythology we can learn sign. And remember, we talked before, we can study it with the element and the quality. How about we look at from the element and quality?
So Cancer is a cardinal sign, and it's a water sign, right? So we said that cardinality implies that it's starting some kind of movement, right? And we said that water is the realm of emotions and feelings. So basically, Cancer, what it's doing is starting emotion, which has to do with emotions and feelings, right? It's starting to approach the realm of emotions and feelings. So it's going to be a sign that is very much related to feelings. It's going to be a sign that moves, starts action, does something because of what they feel, or because they want to make a deep emotional connection with other people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna set them into action.
It's very interesting because when we start the astrology and we talk about a cardinal sign, usually we talk about cardinal sign sounds very, you know, very active or kind of they initiate these things. But some people or some student will always ask you, but how about Cancer? Because we didn't see Cancer starting things, which is kind of true. It's a what we call a negative sign or something. They are not really active, but I think to make them become active, there is a feeling there, the
Yes.
water's element there to make them start. Once they feel something, you couldn't stop them, and you don't need to ask them or begging them. Once they feel something, once they sense something, the feeling is there, they will initiate, they will start working out, they will
Yes.
start doing the things. That's very different from the other cardinal sign.
Yeah, I think they are moved by feelings and emotions, and I think actually Cancer is a sign that can show a lot of endurance. Like it's a sign that actually can keep up when they want something. It's not a sign that gives up. I don't think it's a sign that gives up easily.
Yeah, yeah. I think because the feeling is always that when feel a flow, the things will keep coming out. But the ruler of the Cancer is the moon. And we already talked about the moon in the previous episode. So don't forget, apply, because the moon is the ruler of the Cancer. So you can apply some moon's quality, like a mothering, like a caretaking, feeling, childhood, in when you do the interpretation of the Cancer. But how about we start to practice to learn how to interpret when a planet in Cancer?
Yeah, I think we should. I just want to add something else that I thought about when talking about the moon. You know how the moon is related to the tides,
Oh,
right?
yes, yes.
And Cancer is a water sign, and it's a cardinal water. So also, I think one of the characteristics of cardinality is some kind of naivety. We don't still know how to relate with this element, right? So it's a sometimes people say it's a moody. It will give a moody characteristic to the planet. And I would say it's not so much that it's moody, but it's that emotions are in motion, right? Feelings are never the same. It's that's why they're represented by water, because they flow, right?
Yes.
And in Cancer, I think it's one of the most prominent signs where this happens, because it's ruled by the moon, which rules the tides, which are also always in motion. So planets in Cancer may have this quality of being moving, of being flowing, you know, of
yes. That feeling flow and let out that the emotion flow that is coming out, that is show. I think for Cancer is kind of not easy to hiding it. It's not easy task for them, I think.
Well, I think it depends. I think, for instance, the moon in Cancer, because there's this. So when we were talking about how to apply planets to a sign, right?
Yeah.
So the moon in Cancer, the moon is about how we protect ourselves and how we protect others and how we nurture others, right? And it's very sensitive, of course, when she's in Cancer.
Yes.
So one way of protecting would be, creating a crab. So creating kind of this hard shell outside and this
hard shell,
soft
yes.
shell inside. So I have seen a lot of times that Moon in Cancer people, when they are sad, they will not say it. They will go like, no, okay. They need to hide. They need to hide in order to feel protected.
I quite like this interpretation or this observation, because there is, if you study the traditional astrology talking about the water sign, there is a slightly different interpretation like a modern astrology. Some modern astrology, when we talk about water sign, is a lot of feeling, like some way they express them like a drama queen. Not really, but it's like they have a lot of feeling keep coming out. But the traditional way to talk about water sign, they say they are calm. They hold it back, which is true. They still have feeling, but they hold it. And like you say, they may not show it. But this feeling is so powerful, so strong, dominate nearly everything. But how about Venus? When Venus in Cancer, what's different?
So Venus is what we value, right? What we consider valuable. And it's also what we find attractive in other people. So what draws us, what takes us to connect with other people, right? So it's how we approach other people. So if it's in Cancer, we need to apply these Cancerian words, which are, for instance, the idea of nurturing and feelings and emotions. So what makes us feel attracted to other people is not probably the looks or the money they make, but what they feel, the way they express themselves. If they're nurturing, if they are caring, if they are compassionate, which are all of the Cancerian characteristics, right?
Yeah, I agree. Another thing is about the connecting, right? Because if they value the things, like they can connect it, like I felt this in the childhood, and something is totally new, and without any connection, maybe they will more value things they connected, like their teddy bear in their childhood, rather than new Barbie doll. I think this is very interesting. When we talk about the Moon in Cancer, we talk about emotion. We talk about how they express their emotion. But when we talk about Venus in Cancer, we talk about their value and their social life, or what things they like or what things they love. That's the big difference. It's not everything is just like when you talk about Cancer, it's always a feeling. Yes, but apply in a different level and a different way. Okay, do you have anything you want to add it in the Cancer sign?
I only would like to say that, like, so far, the other three signs, it was very clear and very easy to define them. And now when we get to Cancer, it got a bit more complicated to find the right words, and I think it's because it's about water, it's about emotions.
It's true.
It's the first time we step into this realm, and our society is not very prone to value the realm of emotions. So this is being expressed in the way we approach the water signs. I think it's going to happen with all of the water signs. That is not so easy. They're not so easily approached. It's harder to approach them with words. We should approach them perhaps with feelings, images, and these kinds of things.
Yes, I 100% agree. Even though I have a Cancer rising, but for me to understand what does that Cancer rising mean for myself, it's very, very difficult, and because I'm very airy type person. So that is like exactly what you say. If I want to use the word to express it, sometimes it's a challenge there, because it's more than word you can say. There's more than word you can say. I think thank you for addressing this part about the Cancer, about the water sign. It's so important to understand about the water sign, the feeling, the emotion. Sometimes it's more than the word we can express. So when you get in touch with the water planet, planet in water sign, or someone who has a lot of planet in the water sign, don't forget to use your feeling and your heart to get connected. Well, thank you for listening and watching 10 Minutes Astrology. This week, we learned a little bit more about Cancer. We really hope you enjoy this episode. And please like and subscribe. If you have any question, please, the feedback, please send us a message to at AOAUK on Telegram, or email us at aoa.inquiry@gmail.com. Or you can also join on the Facebook. I think our Facebook is grow up. And we keep posting a lot of interesting things. Sometimes we even post some transit interpretation. Okay, so we have a link here. Please join our 10 Minutes Astrology on Facebook group. Also, you can find me on my Instagram at AOAUKROD, and you can also find Alejo on his Instagram.
My Instagram is at Liminal Cosmos.
Liminal Cosmos. Okay, next week we're going to talk about Leo. Well, stay in tune. Bye.
Bye-bye.